Good morning, everybody. I think we can wait a few more minutes for more people to come, but I can already start with a short introduction. We're glad to have you all here for our webinar with BQV and PRODEVAL on the topic of biomethane in Greece, certification, market access, and practical insights. My name is Inga Asrath, and I'm working for the marketing team at agriportance. And on our website under company, then following events, you can find an overview of all our upcoming events. And please note this webinar is being recorded and will be anonymized, and we will upload the recording on YouTube in the upcoming days and send the link to all participants. And one more note, at the end of the webinar, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. And maybe some questions will be probably answered in the second or third presentations. So yeah, that's maybe important. And afterwards, you can just simply write your question into the chat and I will go through them one by one. And yeah, today we have 3 different presentations and we will start the webinar with a presentation by Savvas Christidis from Business Quality Certification on the topic of biomethane certification and market foundations in Greece, and then followed by a presentation from Henning from agriportance on the topic of biomethane certification and marketing, and a final presentation by Maxence Rollin from PRODEVAL with a case study of a biomethane upgrading unit in Greece. And I think because we have a tough timetable, we can already start the webinar. And now I wish you an insightful webinar and hand over to Savvas.
Hi, Inga. Thank you so much for the introduction. Let me just share my screen. 1 second.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
Yeah. I would like also to welcome everyone to this innovative joint webinar about the biomethane market in Greece. Today we will present at least my presentation will include some basic presentation of biomethane market in Greece and generally the R&D status quo also in Greece. Yeah. My name is Savvas Christidis. I'm a chemical engineer. I represent BQV as the business development manager, and also I am responsible for the biofuel certification projects of BQV, as well as the communication between our certification body and several R&D certification schemes. Now, a few words about ourselves. Okay, BQV is a certification body. We are based in Athens, Greece. We are mostly involved in management system certification, product certification, and also greenhouse gas verification, including several certification schemes as life cycle analysis, EPDs, and other certification schemes which are involved in product certification. We were founded in 2020. We're a relatively new company. And since February 2024, 1.5 year, we are an IACC recognized certification body, and we are diligently engaged in R&D certifications. By the way, also in webinars, workshops, and so on and so forth. Generally, what we are trying to do is to follow the trends, and to do so, we have also reach out to companies like agriportance, which is also in the leading field in biomethane certification. So, to get a snapshot of the R&D certification in Greece, first of all, we have to say that biofuel certification is more than 10 years present in Greece under 3 certification schemes, okay, mostly ISCC, 16%. Those are all our data as of July 2025. And we have also other certification schemes such as 2BS and RedCert. Okay, the majority is with ISCC. the other certification schemes, if you can see, the databases are mostly involved with, here we have companies with relatively higher turnover, if I may. So yeah, and breaking down furthermore the material and the scope of certification, we can see that most of the companies, most of the RED certified companies are UPO handlers. Okay, here we have to say that used cooking oil is also a seasonal material, which means that it is directly connected with the tourism season. So yeah, in Greece, UCO certification is blooming, let's say. But also, if you have a more further look, we can see that we have companies certified, which are handling sunflower, rapeseed, canola, and cotton, which means that here we have also rural activity. Excuse me. Now, rural activity implies that most probably we will also have raw materials for the biomethane, but this is also we will discuss on the next slide. What we need to say is that on a first glance, we have this kind of rural activity which can be used as uh, raw materials can be found for the biomethane production, let's say. Also per activities, we see that collecting points are the most certified scope in RED certification, which is connected with used cooking oil. And the second most dominant scope is the traders. Here we could have also marine traders or just basic brokers between the economic operators in the network. Okay. Also by fuel plants and other kinds of scope of certification. Now, we don't see biomethane here since we are at the very first steps of introducing the biomethane certification in this kind of scheme. So what we need to see first is that, is there a need for the biomethane certification at all? And maybe we get an indication by the energy mix of Greece as of 2024. This is how the energy in Greece is the ratio of energy use, if I may say, in Greece for the last calendar year. We see a small percentage of biogas. Now, biogas is the primitive material which we can use with upgrading, let's say, in order to produce biomethane. We see that biogas is 1.25%, which is really low, and maybe someone might say that there is no potential for development, but we see that natural gas, which is the same chemical compound as biomethane, has almost 40%, if I may, 36, 37% of usage. So potentially one might say that these biogas plants, which are located in Greece, can be upgraded to produce biomethane, and this biomethane can be integrated with natural gas and have this support, let's say, in the main natural gas consumption, either in the grid, okay, or in other kinds of energy supply. But before going there, we need to clarify some terms and definitions regarding the general handling of biomethane and what is the exact facilities that need to be used here. So the first term is the biogas plant. Okay, what is a biogas, first of all? A renewable energy source produced by the breakdown of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. Okay, we have an anaerobic digestion of organic matter. We will see what this organic matter might be. This is our raw material and where it can be found. And so, yeah, biogas plants, we have biogas plants in Greece in considerable amount of we have a considerable amount of factories today in Greece which have the potential to be upgraded or be in a hybrid operation with a biomethane plant, which is exactly as it says, it's the upgrade of biogas to biomethane with the intention of injection of biomethane in the natural gas grid or for other kinds of usages. For example, uh, we have a first stage, which is optional. Okay, is it can be found also in Europe, this kind of factories, uh, which is liquefaction plants, which in this stage we take the biomethane and we produce bio-LNG in liquid phase, okay? Which basically is energy consumption process in which we uh, process biomethane for bio-LNG production, which uh, which final product is in liquid form, which can be used for other logistic reasons other than injection in the natural gas grid. Okay, this can be moved, this can be transported by ship, and so on and so forth for other uses. Now, a short note here. All the previous plants are R&D certified, and of course, one plant can have the all the three kinds of operations. Biogas plant can also have a biomethane plant connected and also be a liquefaction plant and all be under R&D certification. So in Greece, if we take a glance in the geographical situation right now, there are several biogas plants, 75 or more than 75 actually, with a total power with 150 megawatts. And here in this map, I show the basic centers of operation of these plants. It might be a complex also of biogas plants. Yeah, they have the capability to be upgraded to biomethane plants also, or be a hybrid facility. And there is the goal to reach a total power of 2.1 terawatts on biomethane until 2030. Now, what we can say from this projection is that most of the biogas plants are either located in rural areas, such as Central Greece and North Greece. It is no coincidence that also the biodiesel plants of Greece are also located in the same area, which means that most basically the raw materials can be found, such as manure or food waste, or there is an alternative that the biogas plants are also located near landfills of big urban areas such as Athens, where the organic fraction of municipal solid waste are undergone the process of anaerobic process, so biogas is produced. So we have these two options actually. Now, to a general proof that we are in a very primitive stage right now, is that the legal framework has been set actually 1 month ago with the official Gazette 116, where we have two parts. We have the framework for the promotion of biomethane production. Okay, it's important to say that this is not exactly like the harmonization with R&D. Rather, this is the most basic, the fundamental issues someone needs to take care when installing a biomethane plant. Okay, we have the first articles, we have the production and certification of biomethane, the most basic things that someone needs to be aware, the licensing of biomethane units, and the support of biomethane units, which are the criteria that someone needs to meet in order to get some kind of fund and financial support. It's important to say that the same legal framework, the same piece of legislation, has also a second part, which is involved with the hydrogen production market, the RFNBOs, And here the legislator actually foresees that this is the future, and this is actually some food for thought, maybe for some other presentation. So yeah, although we are indeed in a primitive stage, we have the first biomethane production unit in Greece. It is located in Preveza. This is northwest of Greece. We have a capacity here of 900,000 cubic meters per year. Okay. We have biogas production, traditionally biogas production, and we have the upgrade to biomethane. And under compression, we have storage in cylinders and stacks. Now, those cylinders and stacks are used for most basically for gas stations, if I may say, for the energy needs of the automobile, usually in order to provide energy, to provide fuel for cars. Okay. Why we don't inject this biomethane in our natural gas grid is because we are in a testing phase and we don't want to take the risk of injecting the produced biomethane, which has been produced for in a testing phase. So we need to be sure first to have a low risk operation. So then we can be sure that we can inject this biomethane to the grid. The commercial operation will begin within 2025. Okay, we have several months to be prepared. Still tests are carried out. Tests are promising. Okay, the biomethane produced were over 97%. And it was injected again back to the biogas unit. Okay, this is in the very first stages of the production. So all in all, we can say that we are in a very primitive stage. The legislation is set actually 1 month ago. Okay, but we can say that the first step is taken quite early. Okay, and so the potential is there. We expect to see how things will turn around in the near future. And okay, that was my presentation. I mean, I would be happy to answer any question in the end of the joint webinar in this case.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank
If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And now I would say we continue with the presentation from Henning.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Inga, for the small introduction, and also Savvas for your good overview of the Greek market. Yeah, in the next 15 minutes, I would like to give you a small flavor on how sustainability certification in Red Set and ISCC can look like and how our clients are handling this. And I would also like to give you a small perspective on biomethane market and also the valorization of biomethane, or which can come from Greek. First of all, my name Henning. I'm the CEO and also co-founder of the company Agriportance. We're based in Münster in Germany. Personally, I've got a background in the whole biogas industry in Germany. And at Agriportance, we're having two solutions. On the one side, we're having a software and service concept where we helping biomethane and also bio-LNG producers by the whole certification with GHG balances, mass balances, but also the transfer of supports via Navizi or other systems and so on, and also with the gas shipping. And moreover, we are also active in the marketing of the biomethane and also the liquid CO2 and the bio-LNG. So there we are connecting producers from all over Europe with off-takers, and off-takers can be like smaller energy utilities like Stadtwerke in Germany, could also be like bigger petroleum companies, industry clients, and also what is quite evolving currently is the whole maritime sector where we are also quite active. The software solution, which I would like to show you and give you their overview how this certification can look like, is used by close to 70 biomethane and bioenergy producers, and our marketing processes are used by these software users and also by clients beyond, where we find off-takers on the short but also on the mid and long term. To give you an overview for this whole sustainability certification in Red Cert, ISCC, 2BS, and so on, there are parts which are somehow important, practically speaking. On the one side, this is this GHG balance, but one further thing is also the mass balance. To give you an overview how such a mass balance is structured, it's quite easy. So in our way, we're having somehow a feedstock management, which is somehow important, where I will give you a good overview. Then the management of the biogas. So in which direction does the raw biogas go? For instance, a CHP plant or a biomethane upgrading unit. The biomethane management, so whether the biomethane goes into the grid or like to a liquefier, but also when it comes to the trading, in which direction does this biomethane go? For instance, it gets exported from a Greek plant to Switzerland or to Denmark, or it stays in Greek. Also, this whole trader management. So this whole trading management is in this mass balance and needed for the whole certification. And this mass balance is used by producers who are having only one biomethane plant, but also by producers who are having several biomethane plant. Of course, for each plant, there is this mass balance required. What I would like to show you is like a small glimpse what we're doing here. And this mass balance and the software is developed together with different certification bodies, but also with different certification systems. And it's structured like the following, that we're having different suppliers, like companies who are delivering feedstocks to the biomethane unit, for instance, in Greek, like a trading company, agri-trading, then different farms like Green Aqua Farm, Highland Meadows, and Riverbend Agriculture in this case. Here in this scenario, they're delivering a lot of manure. And also here you see which kind of feedstocks they're delivering. There we're having the group of substrates to have really this unique identifier which is needed for the different systems, here Red Cert, ISCC, or SURE. And also what's important here, the deliveries which came to the plant, for instance, different quantities of, like, I don't know, cattle slurry after separation, different deliveries of bull manure. What we can do is, of course, we can add a single delivery. What most of our clients are doing is that they are importing deliveries, and this can look like the following. So for instance, for the July, we're having different feedstocks which came to our plant, like chicken droppings, bull manure, horse manure, cattle slurry, and then also 2 times bull manure from different farms. And this one we can then import into our software solution, which I can show you in the following, where we can go back. So import deliveries, so there we can go into this menu, start the importing process, have a look on the different types. So this is correct. Can then go to the last opened delivery July, which is then added. And then you can also see here the different types which are needed. So the feedstocks, the delivery number, the supplier, so the company who is delivering, for instance, a trader or a farm, the quantity, and also the date. What we're always doing with new clients, that we're setting this one time up. Often it's also their rating bridge system where they're exporting an Excel file and then importing it to this system, but there are different possibilities. And of course, it has to be set up one time, and then it's working quite good. And here you see now that there are different suppliers in the list. You see also I made here like an wrong name to show you also that this can then be corrected with the right supplier, and also here with this one, so then we have the right suppliers in place, can save this, and then the import configuration is saved, and you see now the Excel file from before. In this case we can proceed, can also then add a group of substrates, which is quite important to really add this. For instance, like this is like trading biomanure. Then we have this, this again. Yeah, and then you see how it's going, see that, of course, there's some manual work, but it's somehow quite easy to really add everything. And here it's like the horse manure. Yeah, and then we can have a look into our deliveries and see that these new deliveries came up here. So these are like the deliveries we added short before. What's also one big part of the whole biogas table is the so-called biomass portfolio. So which kind of different feedstocks are in our portfolio. This is quite important. So having like the type of feedstocks, the conformity, the increase over the quarter, the decrease, so what we have used or sold, and also the total balance, which can be shown here. And of course, we can also see this on a monthly basis. So for instance, for July, August, and September. And what we also can do, we can look in the quarters before. So this is a plant which got active in 2025. So here we can see what happened previously. What our clients are doing in this regard, that also the certification body can get access to the mass balance, have everything right in place. And of course, besides of the mass balance, also the GHG balance is important, where I would like to jump into the next step. But also for your understanding, besides this mass balance portfolio, we would also have a similar thing, for example, for the trading portfolio, so for the biomethane management. But because of the limited time, I would like to jump into the GHG balance overview, where I have here the example company again. And you see here different parts which are needed for the GHG balance. For instance, the feedstocks, the biogas production, the biogas upgrading. In this regard, this would be a plant who has also like liquid CO2, liquid CO2 and also bio-LNG production. So these two extra phases. For the input substrates, it's in this manner because the mass balance is in a proper way. We have so the different feedstocks already uploaded here from the mass balance import. We can also add substrates individually, but this is of course not needed. We have other parts of the production, and here, especially for the biogas production, producers would add on a monthly base, for instance, the methane loss, the power consumption, so how much electricity is used, for instance, it's a closed fermentation residue, like how much electricity is used, for instance, 1 megawatt hours, 2000 kilowatt hour of electricity from a CHP, which is on plant. It's like a calculated value. We can add this. So you see that then, this electricity is added. And together with the mass balance and the GHG balance, we are then calculating for the different producers on most cases on a monthly base, this GHG report. I can jump a little bit up. Why we are creating this? Because this is important for the producer to market the biomethane and the POS into the fuel sector, into the maritime sector, other sectors. Because what we see in most cases, GHG value on the one side is required. In most cases, you have to get, for instance, below 21.6 or below 18 grams. And for instance, in the German transport sector, in the Dutch Beimengenverpflichtung, or in the fuel EU maritime, so in the maritime sector, you're getting more money when you got a lower CI score. And this is what we're doing then for the producers on a monthly and partially also on a quarterly base, such a management summary where we have the different emission parts. And with this management summary, we're creating out of our software either a blue POS from ISCC to transfer then the blue POS to an off-taker or to a biomethane trader, or we can directly connect to the Nabisi program, for instance, to export the different costs via Nabisi from our software solution. Maybe to give you a small flavor of the future perspective is that when the UDB is up and running, there we will also have a connection so that the data which is required for the UDB, for instance, the different deliveries and so on, can directly be pushed to the UDB. When it's up and running, we also had a small test phase there to have everything in a proper way, but UDB is not ready yet, so there we still wait for, but this is also something our software can do, not only to have like this connection to different POS systems, but also to the UDB in the future perspective. Yeah, and that's what we are doing here. And what's also like a good solution for Greek producers, but also for other producers, of course, all over Europe who want to get this important Red Cert ISCC standard, and also to act like with less certification risk, to be aligned with what the European Commission wants, and also, of course, to optimize on this CI-based system, because this is also important for the market, where I want to talk a little bit maybe in the next 5 minutes about. So when we have a look into the Greek market, of course, there are not so much biomethane producers yet, but what we did in the last months at agriportance to evaluate for different biogas plants with the CHP in Greek, what kind of marketing opportunities could be there. Feedstock wise, of course, we're having like a little bit of manure and also a lot of waste, but also a lot of crops. Starting with the manure, so like with like I don't know, cattle manure and so on, with this really low CI score. For instance, this would also be a plant which uses a lot of manure. Here we reach a CI score of minus 104.1 grams CO2 equivalent per megajoule. This type of biomethane could go into the German transport sector, like in CNG, LNG stations. This is like the market we know like for a few years now, which was quite used to this low CI scores, where you get really much more money by having minus 100 compared to plus 10. But there are also other markets evolving, which could be of interest for this type of also this type of biomethane. For instance, the maritime sector, where we currently see quite rising prices, where we see like every 14 weeks higher prices compared to the period before. And also their market prices could go up in that manner. That is also interesting for Greek greenfield projects or Greek brownfield projects. Currently, there are prices for the POS around 60 euros, while Germany is offering prices around 75 euros only for the POS. Of course, you're getting also the gas prices in addition. And also what will be coming in January 2027 is the so-called Bijmengverplichting in the Netherlands, where they also will have a high demand for low CI scores. And also this biomethane from manure could be quite of interest. When we look at the waste biomethane, when this biomethane is unsubsidized, so got no subsidy, classical market would be the British fuel sector or also the Swiss heating market. So this would be also interesting markets. But there, to be quite honest with you, prices are quite low. So the market is quite bearish, but of course this can change. And also for the crop biomethane, this is also quality from a Greek perspective, which is maybe not so interesting to produce because everything is shifting more in the direction of the waste products. And also there, we can more recommend to have a look into this menu side, where it's getting more and more interesting with the maritime sector and also with the Dutch sector to push there the demand. Yeah, so this is something I can recommend to you when you're a producer, maybe focusing on Greek or want to start production in Greek. And yeah, feel free also to reach out to me or one of my colleagues afterwards. At least we can assist you a little bit finding the right strategy, not only when it comes to the certification management, but also the right valorization of your future product with the biomethane. So that would it be from my side with a small overview, and I think I can hand over to Inga again.
Yes, thank you, Henning, for your presentation. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat. And now we could continue with the last presentation from Maxence Rollin.
Perfect pronunciation. Thanks a lot. So thanks to the previous speaker, I learned a lot For sure, I will not have a so good accent as them because, like you see on my name, I'm from France, and everyone know that French people have a terrible accent. So sorry in advance for that. So today I will present to you our company, PRODEVAL, and also we will speak about Greek market in terms of the law, in terms of the first project, concerning the first project that we have delivered in Greek market. We will be the first to inject biomethane into the grid when it will be possible. So that's it. So to start, PRODEVAL, we are a company, French company, specialized in the treatment and valorization of biogas from methanization. So we build technologies, we supply them, and we done the maintenance. In terms of key figures, PRODEVAL have more than 35 years of experience. We start to work on landfill project in 1990 in order to be able to treat the biogas, so to delay humidity, to delay pollutants, and after to burn this one into the flare, because at this period it was impossible to valorize the biogas as an electricity with CHP and as a biomethane. Just after this, we start to work with the CHP unit, and in 2014, we deliver our first biomethane plant, so biogas upgrading with a three-stage membrane in France when the law was ready and the feed-in tariff was existing. So we start to develop the French market. We develop 7 subsidiaries in order to answer to the global European demand and worldwide demand. Today, we are more than 400 employees, and our turnover is around 122 million per year. Our achievement that I want to share with you today, because we are proud of this achievement and make sense concerning that we have saw all together on the previous presentation, is that today we have supplied more than 580 units into the around the world. So we speak mainly about biogas upgrading, but also CNG station to produce biomethane for green mobility, also CO2 liquefaction in order to reduce the intensity carbon of the biomethane produced when it's possible to deliver this technology, because compared to the biomethane, you need to find off-taker, so private off-taker. You will not have a feed-in tariff public, so it's more complicated. And so with all these plants in operation today, we are producing more or less 60,000 cubic meter hour of biomethane injected into the grid. And because I know that a lot of people speak better with a megawatt per hour, it's approx an equivalent to 600 megawatt per hour injected into the grid. So this production of biomethane, because we use waste, for sure when you use manure, you will have a lower IC score compared to vegetables and so on. But with all this kind of manure and the production, today we can affirm that we avoid more or less 1 million tons released to atmosphere. So we are quite proud of this achievement, because our main mission for sure is to work to reduce GHG and to have a good print on the environment. So in terms of references today, all the green points that you can see on the map, we are speaking about biogas upgrading, so using technology of membrane 3-stage. So all these projects today inject into the grid or and use like a green mobility. So when you see a blue point, mobility, it means that some project produce biomethane to load the truck and so on. But main part is really to inject into the grid. Like you can see, we have a lot of points in France because we developed this market since 2014. And today our important market, definitely in European scope, is Italian market, because they move very fast. They have public subsidies. The government push a lot this topic of biomethane. We have also the Spain market, and you will see that in terms of law, we can find some similar points compared to the Greek one in terms of authorization. We are very present on the German market, because this market is historically on CHP unit production, and today main part of the project will finish the actual feed-in tariff with electricity, and so they will switch to the production of biomethane. And we are also present in USA and so on. We have approx 20 projects. Concerning CO2 liquefaction, sorry, I move fast. Today we have 30 units. This represent a production above more or less 100,000 tons produced. The valorization of this CO2 is 60% for food grade industry. So we'll speak about a producer of beverage. We will speak about producer of dry ice. And 40% is for industrial CO2. So use like greenhouse producer, sequestration in concrete. We work a lot with a Switzerland company on this topic. And tomorrow we will speak definitely about production of new fuel, so what we call e-methanol and so on. And like you can see on the screen, just on the right down, and we are very proud, and this is the main topic of today, we have supply our first unit in Greek. So it's the first unit of biomethane on this market. Just a quick slide in order to present one of the big challenge from company like PRODEVAL. Today, when we saw the repower target from 2030, we speak about a production, a global objective of to produce 340 terawatt per year. Today, we are more or less around 50, 60. So it means that every year from now, if we follow this target, all companies who build upgrading plant need to build more or less 1,500 units per year. So it's a very huge volume. When we saw this potential, we decided to develop a new assembly line. So it's a first it's a first model like this around the world, to permit now to produce more or less 450 units of upgrading per year. So it means that we will be able to answer only to 20% of the global demand from the few next year. Today, our actual production capacity was 150 units per year. So we multiplied by 4 our capacity, and the market multiplied by 6 the global demand. So we are not so bad. This assembly line permit to produce all the biomethane upgrading, and also bio-CO2 liquefaction will be a very important market. And we can give the warranty today that the production lead time will be very short, and it's an important point for all this market who want to develop the biomethane in short term, like Italian market and like Greek market tomorrow. So we have speak about the methanization. Just a quick reminder on this part. So you have the anaerobic digestion, the digester. On this part, you have 50% CH4, 50% CO2, in order to simplify the explication. You have, for sure, humidity. You have pollutants, could be different from the feedstock that you will use. Some will create VOCs, some will create H2S. So as a first step, we need to have a pre-treatment on this biogas. So we supply a first unit. The name of this unit is Valogas. It's a drying and cooling unit in order to separate the liquid from the biogas, so to delay humidity and to create a small pressure. After we go to the activated carbon filters, we will use some different activated carbons depend of the pollutants that we can have from each site. And after you have several kind of valorization possible for the biogas, you can go directly to the upgrading unit, so 3-stage membrane, after you've done the odorization, and you can inject into the grid. If it's classic grid with with classic pressure, I mean, you don't need to have booster. If tomorrow you want to inject on transport pipeline, you will need to install another compressor, and the name of the compressor is booster of biomethane, in order to achieve, depend of the country, 70 bar G on injection point, or 80 if we take the example of Spain. Concerning all the products that we can propose around in order to decrease the IC score of this famous biomethane produced, we can have in parallel the CO2 liquefaction. When you have the CO2 liquefaction, in terms of emission, we can say that more or less the methanization plant, the entire plant, have negative, neutral or negative intensity carbon concerning the biomethane produced, because your site become low emission. You can also have the biomethane liquefaction when you are on country where you don't have pipeline, or could be also a solution from some Greek project who will be far away from the pipeline. Maybe could make more sense when we saw the size, the medium size of plant in Greece. When you are on this case, you are far from the pipeline, to done CNG and to load truck, because you avoid a lot of electricity consumption compared to the liquefaction of biomethane. And we have also all the solution concerning green mobility and electrical self-consumption. So I already explained a little bit the technical point. So here you can see the biogas that we supply, so our drying and cooling unit. So we cooled the biogas around 5 degrees, and after this unit, you have a pressure around 150 millibar G after on the activated carbon. Activated carbon, you have every time 2 tanks with activated carbon inside. Some are specialized to dilate H2S, because you have oxygen on the biogas. So when you come to this activated carbon, the oxygen permit to fix the H2S inside the activated carbon, if you use good references. And or, depend of the pollutants, we will also complete or replace with some activated carbon specialized to VOCs that you can have, mainly if you use bio-waste, some typology of bio-waste. We have our Valopure. So Valopure, in terms of efficiency, the 3 stage of membrane. Today, what is important to keep in mind is that with this technology, compared to CHP, you can play very easily concerning the exploitation of this plant. It means that on standard, the efficiency of the plant, it's 99.5% to permit to be conform to the RED 2 and to not exceed 0.5% CH4 release to the atmosphere on the part that we call off gas. So off gas is all the CO2 that you have on the beginning of the plant, sound digester, who is released to atmosphere, and count O, because it's already capped by the waste. And you have also 0.5% CH4. In some country, like in Germany, but will be not the case with what we understood from now from Greek market, this target of methane in atmosphere could be lower. So some country like Germany will ask to not exceed 0.2% of CH4 release in the off gas. So with a 3-stage membrane, if you add membrane and you play on the operation, you can achieve more or less 99.8% efficiency. And in terms of availability, we are on a plant who have a lot of instrumentation to permit to manage this plant at distance. And is maintenance, I mean, is more easy compared to a CHP unit. You have less risk compared to a big block of mechanical part. So today, the warranty of this plant in terms of availability is higher than 97% per year, and this value is written on all our contracts. So we have this Valopure. We have also developed a technology, so it's exactly the same 3-stage membrane, but very compact upgrading unit that could be useful in Greek market, because some will have already CHP on site. If you want to increase the place In any case, you need to deposit a permitting to have a new installation, but sometimes the place available on site is not very huge. So on this case, we have developed a solution specially to be the more compact as possible. So it's exactly the same efficiency, same technology than the previous slide we have saw together. We have also, in terms of upgrading, what we call PSA. PSA will be not the, in our opinion, not the good solution for quick market, because what you need to understand with PSA, it's an upgrading with we use water treatment, and on this part, we speak about an efficiency around 99%, more or less. So first point is that if you are only with a PSA, you will be not compliant with the RED II. So you need to liquefy your CO2 or to use a technology in parallel to burn the excess of the CH4 into the off gas, because you will have 1% more or less CH4 released to atmosphere. The main advantages of this technology is that compared to an upgrading with membrane, you have a very lower electrical consumption specific, but capex is higher. And in terms of business plan, if you want to be on the equivalent with the membrane, your site need to have a flow around 3,000 cubic meter hour of biogas, so very huge plant. We don't have a lot in Greece on Greek market like this, and the electricity price need to be around 200 euro per megawatt, 220. I know that it's approx the price in Greece, but in any case, the site is not so huge to use this kind of technology. So membrane will be the good technology for the methanization plant in Greece. If we don't speak about landfill, we have some other topics. We also, like you can understand before, we also built and done the maintenance on CO2 liquefaction. We have two ranges, one to produce industrial CO2 and one to produce food grade CO2. What you see on this slide, it's what we call a distillation column. So it's the main difference between our two ranges. When you are on industrial, you don't need to increase the purity of CO2. When you are on food grade, you need to have this brick. Now, here we go. We can speak about the Greek project that we have delivered. So it's a case study. Today we work with DEPA company. I think that a lot of people on this webinar know very well DEPA, because it's a very known company in Greek market. They are operator of grid, the biggest one in Greece. And so once again, thanks to DEPA for the trust for this project. So we are very proud to work with a company like this. So Pharmakitas is a site located in Philippiada, so in the west coast, northwest of Athens, west coast of Greece. We have done the commissioning and what we call performance test in week 25 of this year. So I just looked my calendar, but it means that it was middle of June. On this test, no trouble concerning the quality of biomethane, no trouble concerning the flow rate. So we are able to say that this project will produce at nominal flow 150 cubic meter hour of biomethane. We have a global efficiency of 99.5%, but like I explained before, you can play on this data as you want. It's an exploitation choice, I mean. They use manure, so it's an agricultural project developed by an industrial company. And because today we are not allowed to inject biomethane into the grid because the law is very new, and you don't have yet the cost of connection to the pipeline and so on, and the feed-in tariff. Today, they choose to run with this plant, to fill a truck, to go to one of their CNG, one of their fuel station, and to propose CNG. So today, they use this biomethane as a bio-CNG. Tomorrow, when the law will be ready with the feed-in tariff, will permit to done the business plan is very important, and the cost of connection to the pipeline ready on site to connect and to inject. But it will take some time, like we will saw just after. So for this plant and all the plant that we have saw together, what is very important is services, because every plant is able to produce biomethane, but what is very important for sure is availability and maintenance. So we invest a lot on the maintenance part. We trustly think that today it's our added value on the market. We have 20 outliners. They are speaking 5 languages, not yet the Greek language. There will be if we have 10 projects on the market, more or less. So today they speak English. It's an outline every day, every hour. And because on this kind of technology compared to CHP, you have lot of, it's our standard, our design, lot of instrumentation. Today we are able to restart 95% of the plant at the first call and at distance. You don't need to have a technician physically on site in order to change something, because main part of the time we are able to play with parameters and to see very fast the problematic with our outline. So we use hypervision, supervision. Like you can see on my screen, all the green point is set to run perfectly. We have a lot of green point, like you can see, and it's not one time, it's already the time. We have a lot of satisfaction on this part. The red point is project who are in stop from a moment because you are on preventive maintenance or you have a problematic, and all the other is when we lose the internet connection. But I mean, these tools is to allow to our liners and our PRODEVAL to see very fast the problematic and all the data, because data is very important, from the starting date, even 10 years after. We also done a lot of training. We have a specific center of formation training in order to give all the knowledge before the commissioning to our partners, to the owner of the plant. It's very important to train all the actors into this global subsidiaries of renewable energy and especially biomethane. So in terms of services, it's also very important. Now, in terms of conclusion, because it was asked to speak about current status, timeline, specific timeline that we can have on the project and challenges for biomethane in Greece. We have speak during the previous presentation about several points that I will re-explain. Sorry for that. But what we can show is that first law, like you know, is published since 1 month, 2 months. And this one provide a very good framework and first green light for the market. I saw a lot of people that I know on this webinar, so it's mean that market move very fast. It's a good news. What is missing actually, and like everyone know, is a feed-in tariff to be able to calculate the business plan and to compare CHP with biomethane. What is smart on the Greek law that compared to other countries, hybrid model will be possible to produce half of electricity, half of biomethane. So it's a global calculation to take in count concerning the price of electricity, the hours, and the challenges of the government. But this will open, this hybrid model will open a lot of opportunity. We know also that all the sites below 10 kilometers from the grid, the cost of connection to the grid will be shared. So also good news, now we need to know what will be the cost to calculate, for sure. But this distance offer a lot of possibility. The site will, all the sites in Greece, the 75, will for sure not able to inject biomethane into the grid. Some are too far away, but all the sites close to Athens, in Philippiada region, in close to Thessaloniki, and where the grid is present, with this famous 10 kilometer, can be. We saw with the performance test of Pharmakitas and also the quality of biomethane asked into the law that today, with a membrane of a three-stage membrane upgrading, we are able to achieve the requirement of this law in terms of quality of biomethane produced. All the topics are not a subject. We speak about produce 95% CH4 content on the biomethane will be injected. Today, if you want to achieve 97, 97.5 or whatever, with this kind of technology, you can. And concerning oxygen and all other molecular, the requirements are smart and very simple to achieve. Now, if we speak about project timelines, it's our understanding. Maybe some numbers will be false, but I don't think so. It's just to give an idea. Today, from now, if September we have all the green light, the feed-in tariff, the cost of connection, we can say that a project will sign an upgrading unit, deposit the permitting and everything from this date, will have more or less 18 months to have the installation on site, 1 month and a half to have the project complete with the right to do the exploitation during 20 years, because we speak about a law will be 20 years for biomethane. So we can estimate 20 months globally if we want to be secured on this part, to have a project finish up to the time that you have prepared the feasibility study and the deposit of environmental preparation authorization. To give you a cross view, and I will finish on that. Grid market is more or less concerning environmental authorization and so on, same like Spain. In Spain, we say that projects are able to develop themselves in 24 months, more or less, but also for digester and could be higher. Now on grid market, the main differences is that you have a lot of projects who have already CHP. You need to deposit a permitting for sure for the upgrading and to prepare a small environmental permitting compared to Spain. So we can say that maybe in 20 months, you will have everything complete on site, and that in 18 months, you can have the installation ready to follow the performance test. So if you want to contact PRODEVAL in order to prepare, because it will be important, an important topic on the law is that is clearly written that the authorization will be given, will be allowed in a chronological way. So it means that the first project who prepare everything and deposit will be the first project who will have an answer. So it's important, depend of the capacity of all the administration to prepare everything and to be on the first. So we have some model to prepare all the pre-engineering, to do the business plan and to present hypotheses. So if you have a need, you can contact my colleague on this slide. Thanks a lot.